Hello everyone, and today I'm going to do a quick review of the bike rack that you see right here mounted on my car, my bike, which roughly weighs about 13 kilograms, and I actually have two bikes that I wish to mount onto this bike rack over here. Some very quick reviews of how this bike rack works. I think there are some flaws and some pros and cons on this bike rack. Now, immediately quickly going through the installation, I realized that the first problem that I had was this strap is actually resting on the boot lip, the spoiler. So I have come up with a smart way to lift up a little bit of the strap above the strap. You notice that it's not actually resting on it because of this foam that I'm using it. Hopefully it works. The next issue I face is that this support is actually resting onto my license plate and it gets squashed. Notice that the license plate will actually be much bigger than this, and it's actually squashing onto the license plate. So eventually I have to remove the license plate and probably mount it onto the bicycle itself on the frame. Besides that, I'm not sure how strong these straps are going to last, but so far I think it's being held by this long bolt through these buckles that runs to the anchor mounting, and I think the straps are doing fine. I'm not too sure, but there's like two stitchings over here. I'm not sure how strong they're going to last. But for the buckles itself, it is okay, I think. But you can notice that the bolt is actually resting slant onto the load that is pulling down here and here. Likewise for here, I don't see any issue, but I noticed that this bolt is actually a little bit further out for comfort, but maybe it does work. So here I'm going to mount this bike onto this bike rack right now. The mounting of the bicycle onto the rack is pretty straightforward. Once you figure out which part of the frame that you would like to rest the frame onto the mounts, this has a rubber strap that kind of secures the frames to the holder. But because of the design of the bicycle, it seems like I cannot get through this part of the frame top tube, and I have to go through the down tube, but I guess it works. So, and for the rear, I realized that I could not get into the hook for this strap, so I may have to figure out another way to secure this bike. Perhaps I do have another couple of this mount that I can get into and probably use two mounting to secure this frame, which I think will work. So just like this, and here it works, right? Because of this suspension that I have here. Now, looking from the side, it is definitely not touching any part of the car. There's a big clearance of like a but you have to take note of the pedal, which is right down here. when you mount this bike onto the car, make sure that you have positioned the pedals right ready before you hook it onto the racks, because I just did some mistakes and the pedal actually hit part of my car. No damages done, but just to be careful about this, just to be mindful of that. And otherwise, I think this mounting looks alright. And yes, because my car has a rear wiper over here, so do remember that you do not use the rear wiper because it is going to hit onto the mounting right here, and I probably guess it will damage your wiper instead of this mounting. And let's check it out. It's quite sturdy. I'll show you it works. And this strap is barely resting onto the lip of my spoiler for this side. And let's check out the other side. Yes, it is not resting, it's just touching, and I think this is good for me. Well guys, there you have it. This bike rack, and it actually cost me like $75, and I think it should be able to hold another bike. I have another good space for me to mount the second bike, which is also roughly about 13 to 14 kilograms. So I hope it works. And guys, if you like to go for a long-term review of this bike rack and how long it actually would hold up, do remember to subscribe to my channel, and hope you guys come back again for this long-term review. Right now, here is one very important message that I have just left out with the installation of the bike rack, and this is the one. I've realized that this bolt has to be secured, and it should look like this. Once you mounted it to anchor point, secure it this way, tighten it down so that it doesn't move. Likewise for this side. And what you saw just now in the earlier part of this video was that this screw wasn't fully tightened down and it was kind of loose. So, and the next great tip that I would like to share with you guys is to make a marking. I use white paint to mark out the position of these clamps, so that next time when you are back to mount this rack again, you know which angle that you will have to adjust, and it just saves you a lot of times trying to figure out what is the angle of this rack. And for this, likewise, I have also tightened it down in this manner, and you will need this Allen key, right? So guys, there you have it. Hope you guys ride safe and drive safe with your bicycle and your car. Bye.